After rain, sorry, I was going to say after rain. Apparently, we've been corrected that it is after rain. Starnos, Santoya, and Painkiller. Now, these guys have been very consistent throughout the entire tournament. Just a little bit unfortunate that they weren't really able to prevail through those tougher sets that they really needed to in the end. You can only really hope that they can put up a good performance for tonight to keep the morale of their team, and hopefully we'll just see them next season. Hey, Smart.
Yeah, for sure. They had a tough as nuts group, you know. Like you look at the other teams in that group, you had Catgem, Void, Source, and another and Shinto as well, which is a newer team, but Shinto have shown that they're full of very strong players and have done fantastically this season. And they're up against probably the hardest team in the group, or one of the hardest teams in their group. Source, who are, you know, a lot of people would consider these probably a top 3 team in OSL at the moment. So I'm keen to see how Xtep does on the Blight. We'll be seeing some very nice things to start off with. A very early tag onto Painkiller to start things off with a little bit of a pallet break. I'm assuming there's going to be Flashlight Blind trying to make a little bit of distance, but we're about to have our final token back, and we do have a jungle gym here to work with. But this is one of those weird cooked new jungle gyms that are going to be appearing on the map, so get used to them. But a very nice double rush there, and unfortunately, Painkiller not able to prevail. They're getting 2-tapped at both those parts, losing to Powerball 50-50s there, and that was one of the newer tiles. It's a bit awkward, that one, because the window on that one is incredibly safe. It's almost as good as Shack window. You can't really mind game it, so it's quite a strong tile to spawn, unless, of course, you know, you're Blight or someone like that. But yeah, going to be some new tiles you'll be seeing around about all the green maps and all the blue maps. So hopefully that doesn't cause too many issues. I know you can get double crane on gas having a lot of variance due to the dead zone density update. But Xtap leaving the hook here, trying to find anyone lurking nearby. We do see a little bit of progress on the Shack Gen, and we do have After Rain lurking and stalking nearby, trying to stealth, but we're not quite being caught out by Xtap here as he is checking the edge around. He doesn't turn around to see the scratch marks though, and will instead go back to the underhook that has occurred during the time he spent looking around the Shack part to no avail. We find some lingering scratch marks. We haven't been able to get the reset onto Painkiller, but Painkiller seems to have gotten away for now anyway, as we take a free tag onto our ace there with the medkit, who I'm assuming is our Delhi player, as we commit the chase onto Painkiller, who's probably going to be our decisive strike, dead hard player as he takes the chase in the main building. A very good structure to work with here in against the Blight, but we're not at a great power with a bit of ping. We don't get it though. Safety vault there as Painkiller does rotate into the garage, I believe, to try and make a little bit of distance there, but no, he continues to pay the pallet and is trying his best to survive, but I think he would need to hit a dead hard here, but a miss from Xtap Hunter. This is a good start for Xtap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've slowed down just a little bit. Well, as I say that, we are going to get the second down onto Painkiller, so if they are our decisive strike, this will be decisive strike taken into effect. But no, we've opted to slug here, so Xtap knows something that we've even picked up on. Nevertheless, he will be taking chase onto Starnos here, who's just kind of around this bottom side, working that generator in the background, and now taking that tag and running all the way down to the Shack, but we've opted to go back on the side of Xtap. We're assuming that the decisive strike has ran out by this time, and hopefully it has for our killer's sake here, and that does seem to be the case, unfortunately, and we're not able to pick ourselves up with Unbreak, maybe saving it, maybe not getting enough time for the recovery rate. I'm not really too sure what happened there, but nevertheless, this will be the second hook onto Painkiller and one step closer to our tunnel out with no gens in the background proccing. So, you know, as I say that Caster's Curse, we do see the first one of the trial, so, you know, the game is moving at a very slow pace for the survivors, but going to be eating this tag on the side of Santoya, and he's going to run all the way down to the Shack, and we're not going to opt to chase that on the side of Xtap. We're going to secure this tunnel out as soon as possible. Now, yeah, I mean, just a really rough start for the survivors, unfortunately. It is a Blight, you know, the chases are pretty fairly quickly, you know, you anticipate anywhere between 40 seconds for an average chase. I do think that at the start of the game it was a little bit less than 40 seconds. I think it was around the 30 seconds, but we do get the FTP on the side of After Rain onto Painkiller to deny the tunnel out just a little bit longer, and the tunnel out has now been reset. If we get this quick tapping down onto After Rain, we could be in a whole lot of trouble for our survivors, but he slapped the pallet in front of his face, and the tunnel out has made a way, made an escape, and we're just going to be hiding around the map now, hoping not to get found. This is really good for our survivors at the moment, especially with all the gen pressure in the background at the moment. I think maybe 1 or 2 generators will be highly progressed, but we do seem to slow down the game on the side of our survivors as, you know, we stealth around as the tunnel out inside of main, but we do manage to pick up the chase back onto Starnos, who's going to be eating that quick tag and dropping the pallet accordingly, going all the way down to the middle of the map. And some mind games here by Xtap, the early pre-drop, but we're going to be faking it on the side of Starnos, now running around the pallet once more, but unfortunately going to be eating that down. And yeah, with all things considered, even with a tunnel out, like, just, you know, in the background, not being able to get found, I'd say the survivors are still in a pretty dire position here, Spot.
It's tough as nuts because they're working against Ruin, and Ruin this patch in Sentinel's Regress did get buffed to its former glory at 150% passive aggression speed, and I think X-Tap has found someone lurking and stalking at the edge of it, but unfortunately buggers up his rush here as he does find Ace lurking by the edge map there. Maybe caught a glimpse of him as he was walking away, but we're going to be taking the chase onto Ace here towards the Shack Pad. We know Painkiller's just chilling out in main, and we try and hop block it, but unfortunately it doesn't work, and now we have a big problem. We have someone on the floor with now Unbreakable. We do get the pull onto Starnoz there, and hopefully that was Painkiller, not After Rain, who might get slugged here. As it's really ground to halt in the end of Pain Money to My Pain, because they just have to like keep getting off gens to go pick up slugs and go get those unhooks. And with Ruin just in the background there with the 150%, it's just kicking him in the balls repeatedly, and they just got to stick Chens or try and find that Ruin and pop it like a pimp. And we see it over there in the far corner away from any objectives, and it's honestly a fantastic Ruin spawn to have. I thought we saw someone cleansing a totem at the start of the game, but I guess it was just a Dolphin and a Strength. And Painkiller, the stealth demon, successfully hiding away from X-Nut there as he's searching those lockers in vain. He won't be finding Painkiller as he makes a good bit of distance away by the Ice Machine, and except breaking the wall there. That's a really interesting choice. I feel like that opens up that window in London to be a little bit more strong, but it is wide after all as we do continue to chase the Stylers are banning. Unfortunately, unable to find our initial tunnel. Now we see both survivors that are not Stylers resetting in the background there. Very well played for the survivors, and honestly, this is a decent recovery from Pain to My Pain. They don't have a lot of gen progress at all, but they've saved one of their survivors from being tunneled out, and they have an opportunity to pop more gens and get a more suitable result. But Stylers will be taking the chase through main building here as he is trying to play this power that is still dropping. I believe he's just going to greed that. Unfortunately, no exhaustion here will save him, as I don't think he's our dead hard enjoyer as he does go down just outside of main there, and Painkiller is lurking nearby trying to see if he can hit assist in any way, maybe stealth for a pull, but we're off gens for so long, and Ace is the only person working a gen, and the hook happens next to it, and Ruin's still up, and it's just not working out for PMTP, Hunter.
They really need to find that Ruin at the moment. It is kicking them in the balls as we speak. They're not really... Every time they get a little bit of progression going, yeah, it just goes all the way down the shitter because, you know, X-Tap straight back there after the hooks and whatnot. And he has reset his tunnel out. But once again, After Rain, the saving god, has the FTP in hand, is once again denied the tunnel out. And we're going to be taking chase onto him all the way over at 1. We do see some gen progress here over at 1. And the generator being... Oh, this is a tunnel out. This is mighty unfortunate for the side of Pay Money to My Pain, and after 2 recoveries is still not able to get a gen done because of the Ruin is crazy. Life, it was life because it is life DS. We did anticipate that it was dead hard DS, but we ran into X-Tap, vaulting the pallet a little preemptively, unfortunately, and this will be the tunnel out at 4 generators remaining. Not much gen pressure in the background due to the Ruin just tanking it. We haven't even got like access to our eruption yet as well. It's still in our back pocket. That just proves how strong Ruin is at this point. I mean, the survivors really have to find it and get rid of it as soon as possible. And we've rushed to where 2 survivors are at the moment, eating that tag on the side of Starnoz. Very slow on the reaction times, unfortunately, but still going to be slapping the pallet in X-Tap space, taking chase all the way down to the bottom 5 section of the map. And we are going to be just V1 taking that pallet there, but running it on the long side of Starnoz is going to deny the tag, but he's running all the way down to 3 now. There is nothing here to work with, I dare say. This is just going to be another quick down on the side of X-Tap and another tunnel out with only 2 survivors remaining in the trial. 1 injured. No gen pressure. We have some gen pressure on the side of Santoya. I'm not too sure which generator he's working on at this point in time. It does seem to be 5. And we're taking the hook right to 5. Ruin eating that generator once more. Oh, we are in such a dire position. We're going to be taking one of the last chases of the trial onto Santoya over here at corner 5. We do have some gen progress over at main, so you can only hope that they can pull it back to a 4K3, which is just not the result that you want on any set, even a blight set. Going to be eating tag on the side of Santoya, who's going to be running all the way down to Shaq. We don't want any of it on the side of X-Tap. We're fighting for the 4K4, and he knows that Survivor's working that main generator at the moment, and with After Rain being injured, we're going to be seeing another quick down. Ruin eating that main generator as well. Santoya's not going to be able to rotate all the way down to 5. He's in a predicament if I've ever seen one. X-Tap knows it. He knows he's in such a power position to kind of get a vantage point and see where the scratch marks are for the last survivor. If only we can get a quick flick around to where Santoya's really hiding on this side of the map. Doesn't really have much to go on unless he's corner hiding all the way over at 8. But then, even then, what do you do at a point in time like this? We are looking around edge map 5 once more, but we don't spot Santoya hiding out. So he would be fairly quiet. He is an ace. I mean, it would be a little bit harder to hear him. I definitely don't hear him over at 5. I can only anticipate that he's rotated over to he's rotated over to 2 to 1. That's very ambitious on the side of him. I wouldn't have done that for sure, but just fortunate enough we didn't see him on the side of X-Tap being so close to that over at 5 when we went to go check on that generator once more. We are going to take the hook back onto After Rain, and we have a nice little kill to park up here on the side of mid, but we're going to just still try to play aggressive for this last stealth out on the side of Pay Money to My Pain. Going to be hiding around the Bridgestone tires here over at 1, but we might have seen him on the side of X-Tap, and I think we have. Running all the way down to 1. We do see the scratch marks, and this will be the final chase of the trial here, Smont.
Yeah, really unfortunate for PMTP, just doing a lot of work in X-Tap's favor. And, very nice play from Santoya there, slow voting that window. That's really strong, and I think X-Tap's about to find out how strong, but unfortunately, no. Santoya will be rotating away here, and he can't actually hook this ace yet, because I believe he'll still be able to use his Delia. Cheeky short swing through the part. We'll see the down, and this is still Delia. I don't think we immediately die for it on our first stock. I believe the game does let us use our deliverance. So if Centurion times it right, he might. He's on the other side of the damn map, but he might be able to deli and then by some grim miracle make it to hatch for maybe a slightly easier win con, or maybe X-Step gets up from his desk and does a victor. No, he just dies. Okay, never mind. I'm talking out my ass. But very, very well played from X-Step there, and a good effort from Pay Money to My Pain there. Thankfully, afterward, we did manage to escape for a little bit and prevent that tunnel out, but it was only for one gen pop, and then Ruin just ate through it, of course. And I think if I'm in this blood shoes, I'm probably just going to try and play for best result and just go with our picks and our Tycon, and send a little bit of a prayer to the DBT gods to assist me in this trying time, because yeah, he's living on a prayer.
Yeah, definitely, and we can't really look past the fact that in that game, in that previous game, X-Tap was able to deny Deli and deny Decisive Strike, both in the same game. No Dead Hard either, which are like 3 of the strongest perks against this killer. So, I mean, maybe we'll see them get some use here, but it only really hurt our win con on the side of Pay Money to My Pain, and now we do have the Survivor spawning all the way on the top side. Sorry?
Overcome DS. That's what I've seen on the builds, which is peculiar to say the least. On the old David King there with the most disgusting fit I've ever seen in my life. We got Unbreakable DS Overcome in the strength as we find X-Tab very quickly at the start. So this is the kind of momentum that Santoya needs at the moment here. And he does have a bit of a more gen kick oriented build. It's a little bit more active than passive that Ruin was. So he's going to be kicking a ton of gens here, trying to get that passive aggression with Collar Brian popping option. And we do unfortunately have our brand new Crane spawn that can spawn on this side of the map now as well. We are running around the titular 9-8 side, as you said in the last game. That was a bit dangerous. Is this another one of those new tiles, or this is just like a normal gem? This is a normal jungle gem. As we try to take the chance on X-Tap, having a fantastic spacing that's going to be breaking away towards main, making as much distance as humanly possible. And Santoya, I think, considered leaving this chase, but I think you've got to stick to it. You're going to get this down as soon as humanly possible, but he's in such a bad spot here, at such a pretty safe tile if you know how to play it against Blind, because it's a bit awkward to move around in this confined area, but with a little bit of time, he should be able to get this flip, but unfortunately, no, we do get a back up there on the reception counter there. We're going to be breaking the power up there. We see the first gen pop in the background. Our Wincon's out the window. We're playing for a Tycon, and Source doing exactly what I said they would do. They were just going to play super aggressive with the power, slow them down as much as we need. And we're going to be seeing our team on the gens almost immediately, as Santoya does struggle to try and move outside of the main building here, but thankfully X-Tap breaking away while the Blind has used all 5 of his tokens, so he can't rush him into this little bit of a dead zone that can spawn here, but we have another fill of power. Thank you for the power density update, as we're going to go for a little bit of a power usage, but I think we have not a lot of wiggle room for us to work with here, as X-Tap just runs around the power to super safely, and we're back down to 0 tokens, but we're a little bit close, but we're not able to go for the swing. And X-Tap does greed it, that's a biblical level greed, my friend. Jesus Christ. But we're just going to be building the Bloodlust on the Blight here, as now we're trying to go for a rush. We're getting stuck with the tire there, as our mechanics are not quite up to snuff, but no, missing another rush here, Hunter.
Yeah, this is just really bad for this side of our killer, and X-Tap playing around this little fill of valor really well. He's still greeting it. No. Oh, we really want to commit this chase on the side of Santoya as well, being our deliverance survivor that we're going to be booking first.
Oh, God.
There's a pallet. I didn't know somebody was stealth for a pallet stun, but we've also popped the gen in the background. And you know what that means, Smong? That Source will be taking this set, unfortunately, with Oh my god, wait, we're still... Yeah, wait, I completely missed that. I mean, I'm not too sure if we're running Champion of Light or anything during that as well. I mean, that was a very lengthy blind, especially for the add-ons that are really provided in this balancing. But a flare coming in from X-Tap as well. You could not be doing that, sir. Hello, yellow card. Nevertheless, we'll be taking the chase back onto this. This is
Oh,
the new
God.
tile, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the cursed
and
one.
this can be very, very difficult for our killer to catch up to. And X-Tap's going to be reading every play here, playing very nicely around the long walls, and it is just, oh my god, we almost get the down there, but X-Tap greening it once more. He's playing out of his mind. He's just able to really play the check spots, play the pallets, and even fake this window and just make for a very lengthy, nice chase. And we do see another generator proc in the background, and I think we should have left this chase a long time ago, maybe as soon as we were hit with the pallet and go for like something that was a little bit more in our favor. But X-Tap once more showing us how strong this loop is here. My god. And now going to choose to play the pallet, but going down there, somebody sells for an edge map. No, please don't pick this up. Look around. For the love of God. Santoya, wait, why are we two people in the freaking save, man? Okay, we're going to be taking a tag onto our David's Jack. Who's going to be running to the middle of the map here, frozen in the background, watching generators. He thinks he's safe. He thinks he's... Oh, and we saved the pallet. No. No, that's absolutely crazy. We're still in front. No, not the stun, man. Stop. Stop. Leave the man already dead. His hook. My God. He's already dead.
Please stop. No more. We do get a tag on the strike, but I think Santoya has a bit of a sunk cost fallacy here with X-Tap and really wants his man dead. And Source is just, you know, like, you have such a long chase, you can kind of afford. But like, we are getting tags on the demons that are lurking nearby as we're just healing in front of Santoya. And I think that heal might be nearly done because we had a quite a considerable amount of downtime at that power fair on this Santoya, but he might be able to get this down here if he lands his last rush and goes for it. But no! A flare from X-Tap gets him all the way back into Shack, but we use it at the start of the game. We've done a full lap of the whole map now. We're just down to nothing here. He should just be able to get a cheeky little M1, but we're going down in the middle of the open, which I'm sure is sending anxiety all throughout our friend here, but no, we're just cranking motors for our team. Strike works a totem at the backup, but we're very concerned there. We're up on that hill having a scout, but we're very concerned as we do finally get the pick and we get the first hook, but unfortunately it will all be in vain here as that last jump will pop before Santoya does get over to it. And honestly, unfortunate. Just rushes were too long. I think a lot of the problems there was in our chases that we were taking on Distract. Whenever we were using a rush out sort of a filler pallet, he chose to go for a really far away surface to bounce off and then come back in. And all of his rushes were super channeled and really easy to react to, which is a shame. And of course, you know, Distract being a really good survival player and Source being a well-connected team, they had people in position for power saves at the start, beamer saves. And it just can't do any wonders for your mental here as we do take a chase of the Frozen to end things off. As I dare say, we'll probably be getting out of a game and Frozen trying to play. Oh, a very nice tag there with our rush from Santoya as we do get an anti-blocker on that window. If we're able to get another fresh hook here, that would do wonders for our stats. But, oh, we caught a Pokemon! Oh, hello, David, you're ugly. My God! That's a demon move from Strack. Jesus Christ, as we do throw another cracker. And we are going to be maybe getting out, but we might be able to take a quick final tag onto Frozen, but no, not able to hit our rushes. We are just chilling out by the car fella here. We have Ace here taking a hit here, except takes the tag, and we're going to be going out the door, and we might be seeing a one-star chain on the block, but I do believe we should be able to get A down here as we do find the tag onto Frozen, and all Santoya needs to do now is just force people out, but we do see them scattering like rats all throughout the map to try to get in position to go for a save here, but we zone with our break here, successfully putting Alexandre into the middle of the map, and with a little bit of a wall bounce, I think we should be able to get Alexandre here with a nice little flare, but no, Alexandre going back into the tile there to dodge the rush, and I think Santoya just wants to go back for the pick of the Frozen, but he's very concerned about where... Well, we know where Alexandre is, and we're looking at where he just was, which is very brave. But we are going to be able to get the hook here, which is fantastic to see, as we do see X-Tap getting reset in the background, we do see Demon David coming in for the unhook here, and I dare say this might just be an instant double pull, as we do see X-Tap in the background, they're going for the pull, as we do thankfully secure our second hook, but no, we're going to be triple bouncing, that's really unfortunate, and we don't find any rushes there. We split the Red Sea that is Source, and we're trying to kill Steve, but we do hit the dead arm, thankfully, and that will be 2 stage 2 fresh for our killer player here on Pay Money to My Pains pick, which I hope they'll be doing good on, but we just saw Source put up a very vicious survive performance. And on the Doctor, you're going to be wanting to take a lot of hits, setting up for power saves if you can. And it requires a lot of teamwork on the Survivor end to play against him. And of course, the power density update coming through. Wretched Shot might be a little scary for Mr. Doctor. Is he on Wretched Shot? Or did I... No, he's on Cold 2, isn't he? Yeah, he's on Cold 2. So
Maybe
not
change him.
Wretched Shop. He's on Cold 2.
Yeah, he's on Cold 2. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like Cold 2, a little bit different from Roach's Shop. I mean, I think it's a slightly smaller.
Do
Main's
you
all the way.
do you think that they updated the variant maps for the power density update?
Oh,
I can already
that's it.
see an edge map palette, so I think maybe not. Is that an
I
old
mean,
God Rock?
yeah, I don't think that would be the case because just keep in mind that these maps aren't really in the rotation for pubs because they took them out. So I don't really see a world where they would have sat down and tried to decipher whether to make these loops a little bit easier. But you know, wait, there's a palette over at Logs. I'm not too sure if that was, you know, ever there to begin with. So yeah, maybe they have done a little bit of tweaking to here as well.
This is a cocktail line, yeah. Okay, yeah. So the new shit is in the new maps, which is interesting. But we find a little gaggle of survivors at the start here, as we do find Frozen opting to chase Mr. Steve around this party. And Cold 2 is a bit of an interesting map. He's not on Wretched this season just because we had so many kills already on Wretched, and I believe he's played in Cold 2 and some other leagues, mostly in different countries. So I'm keen to see how our Doctor player does here. They did pick it, so they must be pretty confident on him in terms of playing him. Unfortunately, we do miss our shock, and we do get head on by Strack there as we go for a little bit of a cheeky blind. I do wonder if this means we'll be switching our target to focus on David, or if we're going to be continuing the chase on the Frozen, but I believe we're switching over to David, as I'm fairly certain this is the Mr. King scratch marks, and it is, as we do chase on the Strike here, hoping for a bit of a redemption arc from last game, maybe, but unfortunately missing the shock there. We're going for the vault over the window, and Strike playing this really well with the checkies, and he does go for the shock, and Santoya chooses to leave Strike and hoping to vie for some other prey, maybe kick some gens here and get a bit of pressure going.
Oh, Sontire, I feel for you, man. These guys are just already putting themselves in such good positions to be able to last in their chases and not give up any early tags. Alexander is going to be playing around this 4 wars here, opting to greet the pallet as well, but running into a whole lot of nothing, so he'll be getting slapped, unfortunately. Still somewhat of a decent first tag here for the side of our killer, but he's going to go all the way back to where that generator was being progressed and continue on the chase back onto Frozen, who's going to be stopping around this Sin car and playing this pallet outside of main. Now, is he able to really dodge the hit here? He's probably going to have to leave this pallet sooner or later, but he's opting to play it a little bit longer. Santoya getting a little bit of a late shot there, and we're able to make that pallet, dropping that down in the process. Now, keep in mind that these survivors are not on ping neither side. They are all from SEA for the night, so, you know, I mean, that's something to keep a note as it is in their advantage, and we're going to be using this outside filler pallet here on the side of main. And we're just going to playing it very nicely on the side of Frozen, trying to fake it on the side of Santoya, but we're reading it perfectly, and Frozen getting a little bit caught out now, doing a little bit of spins, trying to dodge the hit, but Santoya not falling for any of that. We see the first generator in the background proc. And now we're going to be taking this static blast to see where other survivors are on the map, and another generator pop in the background. So, you know, stock standard stuff for the side of the survivors. It is a good start for them nonetheless, even though it is a Doctor set. You know, you anticipate anywhere between 3 to 6 stages as per usual, but nevertheless, we'll be taking chase back onto our survivor here. That is Alexandre, still injured, running around this 4 walls here, and actually opting to go for the God Rock over more towards the 6 side of the map, this bottom side. We see another generator proc in the background over on the side of 1. We do see a reset coming on in the background as well, and I'm not too sure which survivor this is. Exit, I think, is how you say their name, is going to be going all the way down to Shaq. Probably working that outside Shaq gen as we take the chase back on to 7 here on the side of Alexandre. We're going to be whiffing and hitting thin air on the side of Santoya. You really have to get this down. The game is just slipping through your fingers at this point in time. A nice shot coming in, and that's going to allow him. Oh, no. I was going to say allow him to get the down, but we see the head on from the side of Strack, the ugly David fit coming in clutch. And we're going to go back to this 3-gen here, this very loose 3-gen on the left bottom side map. So 5, 6, and Shaq, mid Shaq. So going to opt to chase someone in this area of the map, and it will be Frozen, who will be taking chase all the way down to the 4 walls once again. Over at the side of 5, you know, it's a little bit hard to work these generators with the chase being so close to the generators, but I mean, you know, if they're able to really double that gen in the background on the side of mid shack, we can definitely work with something here. Frozen going to be playing this window very nicely, making a fast vault too. They're putting on a performance, and that will be the mid shack gen done as well. And we still haven't gotten down here on the side of Pay Money to My Pain. This is really bad. Oh, we're faking and we're jigging, and he's getting jiggy. I've seen like 2 chases this season just in this one series. We're going to be taking another shock here onto the side of Frozen, playing the pallet, not greeting here. Wait, did we just go for another head-on the side of our David? We did preemptively a little bit, so we are still in a safe position not to get hit on the side of our David Stract here, but he's going to be playing the fast vault onto the side of this 4 walls here, now taking another tag and running, sorry, not taking another tag, but taking a tag and running away, and yeah, this is just an extremely rough game for our killer here, Smonk.
This is fucked up and evil. We're finally getting it down onto Stract as he does bugger up a little bit there. And Rapid is not doing us any favors, unfortunately. It seems everyone's here trying to save Stract as I think they want to go for a 0 stage, which is demonic behavior. But we do get the static blast there. We do find out that Exit is lurking nearby, so we do chase him away, but someone else could swing in there for a save. We're just barely in the power as we do see Exit going for a little bit of a greedy play there, as the last gen's likely being worked in the background there by Alexandre. And he's hesitating for the pull again. Exit can't use his beaver, so he has to go for a power save, and he might be able to get it, but I think with a swing, yeah, he doesn't make it. He's just a bit too far away. And we thankfully get our pain res here, as we should be able to interrupt whatever gen is being done, and I think this one being done literally next to him. So he might still be able to get a few stages out the door, a few stages on the board, sorry, I should say, as we do see pain res coming into the gen that was right next to the hook. So that gives us a good indication that that gen all the way over there in main is basically on no progress and should be popping anytime soon. So Centea is very comfortable just to sort of hang out and use a static blast to see if anyone's working. We do see someone working that main building generator as Frozen is sort of running around on the hill. And if I was Centea, I would not be camping. I would be going to beat the shit out of someone else and hopefully maybe secure another fresh hook and a pain rest before that gen can pop. But with how Source has been playing, I think a sub 90-second chase is going to be a very tall order. But honestly, with this spacing, we should be able to get a tag onto Frozen here, and then Rapid Brutality might do us a couple of favors in catching up to him to secure another down. But we're going back to the hook for some ungodly reason to try and interrupt it. But I think we're not really like... is he just trying to get a kill on Distract? Maybe? I'm a bit confused about his game plan, because I in this position, I would go for the pain resers.
Yeah, of course you'd want to go for your fresh hooks. You want to go for your pain resers, obviously. I mean, I think he's just playing safe and really wants to kill. He knows they're on the main generator at the moment. You would anticipate so being the furthest generator from the hook, but going to be taking that unhook in the background as well. So chase back onto Alexandre here over at the mid side of the map, mid 7 if you will, and he has a nice little window to play here. And yeah, Sento's not going to want any of that, and main generator popping straight in his face. Unfortunately, we do see the gates being shack and behind main, so you know we've got some slightly I want to say close gates, but I don't think really... They're pretty spread apart. I mean, hopefully somebody is on a gate all the way over down the 12 side, but we're going to be taking chase back onto Frozen here. If we're able to really secure this kill, that will spell 4 stages too fresh.
Holy sandbag.
Stract is going to be taking the... I'm not too sure. Yeah, maybe it would have been a sandbag. I think they're taking a protection hit, to be honest with you, and just like trying to preserve the chase, preserve the fresh hook, if you will, on the side of Frozen, but not really working out according to plan. We've just kind of been zoned into the corner here. Frozen not being able to make as much distance as he would have liked, and he's probably going to break away from the shack anytime soon with the body blocks coming in, and that is what we see. So this probably will spell the 3 stages, 1 fresh. So all in all, it's not the worst game you've seen.
He's going to quarter hatch.
No, stop. He's picked up on it though, so he'll go for the pick here. I mean, wait, does he get it though?
No, he's way too far away.
No. Oh my god.
Milliseconds. Jesus.
Mori
him! Give him the zap!
Give him the Mori. Give him the Mori.
Yes.
Zap his brains out. All right. Enough of that. We'll be moving on into the next match as well. So, Survivor for the whole duration of that match. What is happening to DPD, and why the hell is this?
Was that today?
No, that was yesterday. That was yesterday when I was in someone else's stream.
While the bug fix for the Infinite Killer Instinct, awesome. Well, I don't really play the Cenobite anymore because that killer has aged horribly, and they won't do any updates to him because you can't buy him anymore.
It chose.
What?
because like they haven't done any updates to him because like look at what's happening to him at the moment. You know, you've seen all these bugs in him. It's just crazy.
Yeah, he's
I
just a
actually want to find
historically bugged killer. He's just fucked, really. Like, it's when he had the bug with his chain where he had the FOV where it, like, zoom in and out when you use the change. That was there for 9 months. 9 months. The fuck FOV on every chain you use was fucked. So I just think they don't care about the killer. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like permanently like that now. So I moved on to the greener pastures of fucking unknown and Springtrap. I know, Master. But we're going to be loading in here. We have X-Tap with the Doctor. Pretty sure Force Penance is a banned perk, I'm not going to lie, unless it's allowed on the lower tier killers. But very strong perk if it is allowed, and I'm not getting my wires crossed with different balancing that I was looking at the other day. But yeah, Force Penance, in case you don't know what the perk does and you're unfamiliar with it, you don't really see it often in comp. When you take a protection hit, you become broken for 80 seconds, so it's a good alternative to Sloppy Butcher since it's nerfs. So yeah, Force Penance is allowed on the lower tier kills. I think I was probably looking at a higher tier killer when I was like practicing some other killer. But we're going for some cheeky Mongas. Very good camera movement from X-Tap, and a bit of a Lopahawk here from Space, but much faster than what we saw initially. And we're also going to be bringing what did us in great favor in the Blight set, and that is the Ruin being brought here. And unfortunately, it looks like we have acquired the person who was supposed to be taking hit tanks, as we do have Battle of Man on the Hanato here, and we're going to be going for the Pain Res check, but I don't believe we... Oh, no, we do have Pain Res, we just haven't opted to use it, and we're going to be saving it for later, and instead of opting for a middle map hook here, which is actually a really good idea, because they can pressure both these gens while keeping an eye on the hook, and yeah, all more reason to show how important hook placements are when you're playing comp PvD. No balance landing on Doctor, so there's going to be a free hit onto Miss Bunyasak, as she is going to be taking the tag and then rotating away. We see a very early pull onto Space, but I think X-Tap is instead just going to secure his win con by camping the V to death, because he's got the one fresh hook on Space, and then as soon as he downs V here, which was very quick, that's unfortunate, he just gets the hook, face camps it, and he wins. So, yeah, not looking great for paying money to my pain.
Not at all. I mean, 2 quick hooks in the span of what, like, this is like closing in on like a minute 30 into the game. It's just really not what you want on the side of your survivors here. X-Tap finding another stealth out. That's going to be another tag onto Painkiller as well. He's going to be running all the way down back to 8-7, and we're going to be trying to use this R and L here towards our advantage, maybe just trying to W away as soon as possible. And we're getting a little bit caught out at the pallet here, but X-Tap playing the mind games very well, and we're reading that very well on the side of Painkiller to be able to really jiggle your way out of that. So some very nice stuff. See the unhook happening in the background as well, so maybe some sort of a reset happening there, maybe some gen progress still going on as we still are forever in search of that first generator proccing in the background. And now we're going to be committing the chase back on to Painkiller, who will be taking chase all the way back down to Shaq, and now faking the window very nicely. Some fakes coming in from the side of X-Tap, not too sure what that's all about. He's not scared of head-on here today. Going to be taking that down, and this will be the 3rd stage of the trial here. The second... I think they've already been hooked here, rather, sorry. So this will be the... No, they haven't. It is fresh. Never mind. I'm losing my mind. So it is 3 fresh as it currently stands. Still not what you want on the side of the survivors. You know, we've already met our win con, unfortunately. They have one on fresh hooks from what I am reading. So X-Tap... very happy with that result. Source take the 2-0. Going to be committing another chase onto Space 01, who we saw have a very short chase at the beginning of the match, unfortunately. I do briefly remember them being caught out on the corner of that tile over at 5, and I just heard the little exclamation mark sound cue from Metal Gear Solid pop in my head when that happens. But we'll be taking another hook onto Space 01 here. That will spell the 2nd stage onto him. Now, where does X-Tap go from here? You know, he has so many generators he can really run over to and kind of see what ones they're working. And we do see someone just stealthing around the upstairs main. I do believe this is Starnos, who is now in tier 3. Will be dropping down from the drop-down position, the open door. Jake will be taking the chase all the way back down to the back, and it will be Starnos who will be... Oh, this is a really rough pallet to be working here. Probably has to greet it of some sort, but we've opted to greet it probably the wrong way. He probably had to traverse through that pallet and try to option select whether he wanted to greet it or not. But we'll be eating the tag and now running all the way back down to 1. And now X-Tap will be going back down to the unhook happening. And we are going to go for the tunnel out onto Space 01 to make the game just a little bit easier and a little bit more in our favor. Alpha taking another protection hit. But that will be the Force Penance coming into play here. So they will be broken for a fairly long time. We have used 3 stacks of the Pain Res and Ruin is still in effect. So Ruin just really tanking this game once more, as we would have seen in their previous killer game on the side of Source. So, you know, it just spells a tunnel out at 5 generators remaining here, Smonk, if he's willing to pick up here. But I think he's really playing for these generators. He is locked in and set on his 4K5.
Yeah, this cheeky bastard's trying to get the 4K5, I reckon. I mean, if it's within reach, you know, you always play for best result. But we do see a gen pop in the background there. I think a 4K5 and Doctor of all characters a bit generous of a week to go for, but we do have someone dead and our 2 other fresh hooks on the board as we are going to be going for a cheeky little reset here. V playing dangerous games with dangerous prizes as she is just holding the drop down here and then baiting V to go for a fall, but she didn't fall? Oh no, there was a scream, that wasn't a fall, okay. So she's going to go for fall here, but no bounce, and she just dives anyway. With a cheeky shock here, I think we have enough space onto the V to just go for a quick M1, but yeah, with this part, you just get shocked too many times and you just kind of die. So that's unfortunately going to be after rain going down here. I believe Ruin is still up. I think pay money to my paying to start learning totem spawns, because Ruin in both these games has just been alive forever and ever. And we also see scratch marks at the corner of our eye there next to main for some reason, but I don't think X-Tap picked up on it. So he's just not going to be able to find whoever was looking for that save there, and is instead going to be checking on those further gens out of this area. But I don't think there's anyone nearby. If you just do a cheeky little static shock therapy by the hook, you would have found someone really close nearby lurking. But I don't think this will reach him as he's just checking the shack. And we do find Starnos, who's our final fresh hook and our final pain res. And I think we can just afford to take this chase here at shack. I think the part is still up though, thankfully for Starnos, so he does have some good reasons to rotate around. But with a bit of a shock and a vault here, we should be able to zone him away from the shack, as if he does give this rotate, he should be able to get a cheeky shock, which would deny the shack. But no, Starnos peeling away and rotating away, but unfortunately this is one of the very few maps that are still bold as hell due to the power density update not really affecting this realm as much, as it still has just the normal tile spawns, but also of course the new tiles taking their place. But we do manage to not get mind game with the shack, thank Christ, as we're going to be rotating down to a jungle gym tile over here, which hopefully still has some resources available to it. We still have the pallet, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to pre-drop it as we do get shocked there. We should be able to make this window just barely, but I think Starnos, he tried to go for the fast vault, didn't quite work in his favor. This will be a final painter as on the board for Source.
He's just played a phenomenal game. I can't even lie. I mean, they're going to be taking the final pain res, as you said, onto Starnos here, which will slow down the progression of the most progressed generator, which seems to be main, I do presume. I'm not too sure. I didn't get like a very good look, but we are going to be taking that hook back on to Starnos and going all the way back down to the middle of the map on the side of X-Tap now, using the static blast to see who is around, and we do get a few screams in the background, somebody on the corner check spot of main. And yeah, I just want to touch up again just how, oh no, we've caught out the other survivor on the other generator, so no gen pressure at the moment. Ruin tanking. Yeah, I was gonna say, I love to point out the fact that Ruin is now 150% and not 100%, so I mean, it just really shows. I think the play last time, like, this is why they're not really going for the totem spawns. It's like they forget that it's 150%. It was doable on 100%, but just that extra 1.5 now, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, I definitely want to be playing through that, so I think the meta is now to obviously find the totem, as it is a lot harder. You definitely don't want to just be leaving it up, and yeah, that will really test your totem spawn knowledge, unfortunately. I mean, and on the side of pay money to my pain, it's just not really apparent to me. I mean, if it is, they're just not really utilizing it, and that's ultimately just really what really spells their downfall this series. Ooh. So gonna be taking the tag onto Starnos, who was going for a little bit of a cheeky window tech on the side of main, vaulting that window and then just trying to do his little bit of jiggy work. But nevertheless, we're gonna be taking shows back over to 5 here, greeting that pallet very nicely. But I mean, faking the window once, and he's just imminently going down. And Starnos up in the background, probably still trying to push that main generator of some sort. And we've opted to slug on the side of X-Tap. So this is looking for like a 4K4 if we're not careful on the side of Starnos. The game's gonna go really slow on from here on out on the side of our survivors, and we've just kind of given up a little bit. You
Challenged
know,
him.
we've pointed and we've gone for a little bit of a 1v1 here.
Challenge you
at
to a
the southern
duel!
map, but I mean, I'm glad they both accepted because now we get to see just maybe a good chase here, and we have faked the window here from the side of Starnos, who's going to be vaulting this L&T very nicely, but not really much distance to be made here. We're going to have to be using this little filler pallet on the side of main and try to greet it to the best of our ability. Oh, just barely missing that swing too, and we've looked up in the air, and this is just, you love to see this. This is just a little bit of banter from the boys, you know. Oh no, we got mind gamed at the pallet. I think we just kind of really gave up at that point, so that will be the 4K4. That will be Source taking the set here 2-0. Very well played to them. Smoke, do you have any final words for this series before we move on to the next?
Good effort from Pay Money to Mopain. I'm hoping they don't walk away with their head in their hands because they did play very well this season. It's a shame to see them be eliminated here. And very well played to Source, showing their prowess here. 2 4K4s from both 2 different killers. And just their survivors as well, just playing phenomenal, honestly. Just completely insane work on both sets. Really good teamwork, good hit takes on the Doctor head-ons. Just showing that they're just a dangerous team, you know? Like,